Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about the UK once again, and specifically, I find it interesting, well, in a good way, for once, that the Green Party has been doing numbers, and currently, well, as far as a day ago, from what I saw, it had 128,000 members recently registered, and they have surpassed the current number of the Tories, which is obviously a good thing, but it still remains with the fact that the political atmosphere in the UK is tense, and obviously things haven't been good, and obviously reform has been growing. Reform has been very vocal, and in general, the current political the geopolitical sort of situation in the world is quite bad. But it's very good to note that at least we're having some sort of positive movements, not just in certain countries, but also in the UK as well. And I wanted to specifically focus on Zack Polanski, which is the current leader of Green. And obviously, you might have seen the fact that Jeremy Clarkson was writing an article criticizing specifically his teeth and saying that people shouldn't vote for Zach Polanski simply because, in his opinion, how can someone get the country in order when they can't get their teeth in order, which is quite a very bizarre thing to say, considering the fact that in the UK, how to put this, we have, they have the stereotype of like bug teeth, and in general, dental health care is one of the things that very often goes amiss and is not covered by factually the absolutely destroyed NHS. So obviously, certain things like dental health care and attacking someone for specifically something genetic, I'm assuming, or something like, well, obviously, I would assume Zach Blansky can take care of his teeth, but it is a very bizarre statement to do. And specifically, when you're talking about politics, I feel like you only go for certain insults like that when there's nothing else to sort of criticize, or whether you want, when you can't think of any other argument. So, yeah. Or when you want to be childish, which is obviously Jeremy Clarkson's platform. But I do have to say that obviously Zach Polanski has been bringing a number specifically with his talk about the wealth tax. And I personally also wanted to find out more about it. And basically, it's implementing a tax that exists in other countries but hasn't been in the UK. So it's pretty much taxing the ultra wealthy, meaning if you have, I think, over £1 million, it's 1%, and if you have over £2 billion, sorry, if you have over £1 billion, then it's like 2%, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, it's 1% over £10 million and 2% if you have over £1 billion. And implementing that tax yearly would bring more money into the UK. And obviously, with right now the poverty rates, with the NHS pretty much being on its last legs, and the talks of privatization, the effects of Brexit, and everything, it is very important to keep the money in the UK and to keep it going. So obviously, just with that, and not even talking on certain aspects like equality, wealth distribution, how to put this, I don't think people with such insane wealth would care where 1% of their money goes a year if they had more, how to put this, humane qualities to them. And I do understand that I am extremely left wing, and people just think that, oh, like you need to stay and hoard your money and whatever. But that is not the case, because clearly the people in the UK are turning more towards the Green Party. They're agreeing with what Zach Polanski is saying. And he's not saying to tax absolutely every last penny of the ultra rich, but to literally just tax 1 or 2% in this case. And the fact that people are agreeing with this, they are supporting him, they are signing up to a party which is relatively more new and has been sort of how to put this, not the most popular through the years. And if you tell me this like 10 years ago, like, oh yeah, the Green Party is now the third biggest party in the UK, everyone would have laughed, because the Green Party, in general, Green parties have been sort of a very obvious target of ridicule for many, many years. And now people have been speaking out more loudly, because people are tired of what's happening in the world. People are tired of transphobia. I mean, the UK, people are tired of LGBT phobia. People are tired of racism. People are tired of Brexit in this case. People are tired of climate change being ignored. And people are obviously very tired of a bunch of inequalities. If people can't bring food to the families, why would they care about feeding some ultra rich? And asking for like 1 or 2% is from a very unequal society, and which has absolutely failed everyone at this point in life, is more than fair. And with the fact that the ultra rich pretty much go there, gets these things, they get their riches by underpaying labor, by exploiting people, tax fraud, a bunch of things. And then that ends up with people just not making enough money to feed themselves. And if we want to go into certain ideals, like, do we want like people to certain jobs to have higher wages and etc., that's all great, but at the end of the day, you don't want people to starve on the street. And for some reason, that is a controversial idea, that to say, hey, I don't want people to starve, hey, I don't want people to die out of poverty, hey, I don't want people to die from disease, because people end up sort of rearing their ugly head and saying, yeah, but I'm better than someone else, and because that person is not me, they deserve to starve. And we have that specifically from a bunch of like ruling classes. We have that from right wingers. We have that from centrists. We have that even sometimes from left wing people as well. Some people just don't understand where humanity should start, and or rather, they think that there are certain limits of politics, when in reality, everyone deserves a roof, food, and healthcare, factually. But people don't understand that. And the fact that the tide is turning, like in London, for instance, the Green Party is the biggest party right now, just shows that people are tired. And also, Zack Polanski also is against the higher rent rates in the UK, and in general over the world. We are struggling with insane rent prices because no one is capping them. Like even in Portugal, we have we had a current law which said that the government's going to regulate it for like something like 2,300 euros. And the government proudly announced that the minimum salary for everyone is 900 euros, and it's like, well, how are people gonna pay 2,300 euros if their salary is 900? What are they gonna eat? You're like, sure, we have social programs here, but not everyone knows about the social programs. Not everyone understands how to access the social programs and everything else. So everything just ends up being a massive mess, and people are just saying, oh, we need to think about the middle class. But the truth is, even if to look at like classic theory, like the middle class is collapsing, we're having massive inequality, and finally people are waking up. And sure, we still have a bunch of racists and people being ideological, thinking like, yeah, I need to think where the economy will go, but in reality is, we need to think about how to feed everyone else, and we need to think about ourselves as well. So, factually, thank fuck, people are waking up and they're not going to be voting for racists or for, I don't know, another extreme Brexit, or burning the hotels. All in all, I'm happy things are working out slowly, very, very slowly. Uh, Fuck Jeremy Clarkson. Fuck racists. I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. So yeah, so pretty much this video this week is thank you to Zach Polanski for managing to crawl into the hearts of Brits, making it very known that obviously racism will only get you so far. There's only so many racists in the world, I hope. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry, I'm just quite tired. I ended up taking a while to film this because I've just had a long week, just with jobs and everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been really appreciating all the love I've been getting. If you want to piss someone off, feel free to send them this video. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave a like. Feel free to send this to someone who thinks Tommy Robinson is the next Messiah, and I don't think he is, but I don't know. I'm just trying to spite some people. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.